And joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopedics guest line, my co-host from live post-game show, along with Derek Gunn, who's out like gallivanting around Milwaukee. Who apparently he's the first person to ever gallivant there. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her, you love her. She does a fantastic job on the live post-game show with my friend Derek Gunn and I. Devan Kaney joins the show. Devan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mark. I'm just basking still in the glory from the Eagles win. And it's so sad yet funny how I allow this team to affect my mental health. Like, it is truly crazy that it puts me in a better mood, not just for a day, but like the entire week after they win. And it happens so rarely that I'm trying to just fully, embrace it and feel all the positive vibes.
I'm right there with you. And whenever somebody brings up something to that effect, I always remember my buddy Stones, nickname in college. My buddy Stones, he really liked this girl. He went out with this girl a couple times, and then she totally just left him high and dry. And I was trying to console him, like, dude, sorry, that happens, whatever. And I remember in the middle of him, like, basking in his own sorrow, he looks at me and goes, hey, did the Phillies win today? Like, in the middle of it. And it was like, that affected that would have made a little bit of a difference in his day. And I was like, yeah, man, they won. Yeah. He's like, oh, okay, cool, thank God. It was just like that little alteration to his attitude. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the Eagles have certainly given us something to be excited about over the last 3 weeks. I mean, they're 2-1 in their last 3 games. So all of a sudden, you're looking at a winning record over the last 3 games. They got a lot to prove still in the season. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, obviously. But what is your feeling right now? Can the good vibes keep on coming? I'll ask you right out of the gate. Can the good vibes keep on coming? Can they get a win against this New Orleans Saints team?
I hope so. And I think they can absolutely get a win. I think it's going to be a really telling game. On our post-game show, we always talk about adjustments, improvements, consistency in this learning season. And I think this is a true test. I feel like every week we say, this is a must-win game. This is a must-win game. But this really is a must-win game. We haven't won at home yet, which is just absurd. Eagles, please do the city of Philadelphia justice and get a win. We're kind of starved for one at this point. But B, also just telling us, standings and everything aside, if they actually are the team that we saw play against the Broncos on Sunday, because finally, I felt like they outcoached the Broncos coaching staff. They outplayed them on both sides of the ball. And that's something that we haven't seen much, if at all, this season against any other opponent. So now the test is, can they keep it up? Can they continue making those adjustments and forming a game plan and out-coaching our teams moving forward? And that starts with the Saints. And I have confidence. I hope they don't let me down, but it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and we know that that's what they tend to do. So I try to keep my mind ready for anything.
All right, I'll ask you this question about confidence as well. I feel like we've turned this corner with Nick Sirianni. I feel like we've turned this corner with Jalen Hurts. Can we say it about Jonathan Gannon yet? Do they need 2 good games in a row by this Eagles defense? Do you think we'll get that in this game against the Saints? Where are you in terms of confidence that Nick Sirianni is learning on the job, just as Nick Sirianni has, or Jonathan Gannon's learning on the job, just as Nick Sirianni has, as well as Jalen Hurts?
Well, actually, funny, a quote from our post-game show that I said and then reposted on Twitter. A lot of people agreed with me, but I also had many trolls coming out and attacking me for it, because I said I'm not letting Gannon off the hook yet. Kind of just what I said. I don't think we've seen enough. I think we've seen 2 games where he's made the right calls, but one of them was against the Lions. So, I mean, I know we always hedge it. It's just the Lions.
The Lions, right.
So does it even count? Right. So, and he's the main person I'm thinking of when I say, can we see this team keep up those adjustments and continue game planning for these specific opponents? And I think this game is going to be really telling, probably most telling for Jonathan Gannon. I mean, it's not like the Saints offense is super potent, but it's still going to be a test to see if we can improve, because our defense has just been completely lackluster up until Sunday. I think we finally saw what they could be when they have the right scheme and game plan in place.
Who has been the most pleasant surprise, the biggest surprise to you so far this season?
On either side of the ball, like coaching?
Either side of the ball. Either side of the ball, sidelines, punter. I know you love that punter.
Love who? Sipas. I always want to call him Sipas.
I can't help Sipas. Like I can't help it either. It's like Sipas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tricky one to say. I would say I don't want to say, I don't know if it's pleasantly surprised, but I am so happy for Jalen Hurts, especially after that last game. I know that's an obvious choice. Actually, I have a runner-up after this, but I just want to. I've always been a Jalen Hurts fan, even when he's had bad games, because as we've talked about on the show, his mentality, his leadership, and then we saw glimpses of what he could be, and then I felt like against the Broncos, we really saw him at his full potential, or not even full potential, but what he's like when he's completely on and playing at his best for a full 4 quarters. And I hope that he keeps that up, because I cannot take another quarterback controversy in Philadelphia. And I really can't take drafting another rookie QB and seeing if he develops. And I think Jalen Hurts deserves this. So I'm always pleasantly happy, I'll say, when he does well. Pleasantly surprised, Landon Dickerson, because he came in, he was injured. He didn't really I don't think he played at all in the preseason, came in and I know he had a kind of a rough start, but then he got the hang of it really quickly. And he's a rookie. Like, I'm loving what I'm seeing already. And I'm so glad that he's on this team. I'm excited to see what he can do with us moving forward.
Well, I'll say this much. For as much as we bang on Howie Roseman, that Howie Roseman guy, at least you're looking at 2 picks in Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson. They look like they're going to be very good for a long time in the NFL.
Yeah. And Devontae Smith, I remember, that was the most excited I've been. I think most Eagles fans have been since we won the Super Bowl, when we finally made the right choice and got Devontae Smith. And I don't regret that choice at all. I know that's happened with a few of the Eagles' early picks in the past.
One or two.
But I know Landon, just a few. I know Landon Dickerson, there was a lot of pushback about him and kind of people saying, like, why do we need him? That's a dumb pick. And Jason Kelce might retire soon. People are getting older. So I was always okay with it. And now I think he's proving that it was the right choice.
Certainly. And I know I had a lot of questions about his injuries. He had a lot of injuries in college as well. I had a chance to interview him one-on-one on this show some months ago. And he just said, I don't know what all this talk is about. I know that's my past, but I'm ready to go. If more than anything, I'm more ready to go than ever, because I have that chip on my shoulder. And I said, you know what? This is a guy you can root for. At least we have that. Then he also told me that he got a parking ticket in Philadelphia. And I was like, one of us. He's one of us. Let me ask you this, Devan, because you talk to the fans often, you have your interaction, and you're much more active on social media than I. Why the hell couldn't we go straight to the let him hang out philosophy, as opposed to starting with flowers? Why flowers first and then let him hang out? It seems like the let him hang out thing would have been received a lot more positively.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all I'll say is this coaching staff, this team, whether they win or they lose, they certainly are giving us a lot to talk about. They're giving not just the media, the fans, a lot of memeage, a lot of videos.
Whoa.
So I'm not complaining.
No. Wait, hold on. Was that memeage?
Memeage, yes.
Memeage. Like a lot of memeing, the act of memeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you just make that up just now, or am I just learning on the spot right now?
I don't know if I made it up. I highly doubt I made that up. I'm sure I picked it up somewhere.
That's like the first time I ever heard the word adulting. I really swear.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this the other day with Hugh Douglas was on the show. And I was just adulting. The first time I heard that, it was like, wow, memeage, social media coverage. I love all of that. I'm using it. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted. Proceed.
Well, no, I think to sum it up, the flowers, the fertilizer, I feel like Nick Sirianni, I haven't seen too many graphic tees lately. But it only really works if they win. If they lose, then it's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. And we all make fun of him. I think when the flowers fertilizer thing came out, that was a low point. It was just like, we became a national joke. Everyone, not just Philadelphia, was laughing at him. So I think as long as you can back it up, use whatever, let him hang out, whatever you want to say, whatever gets the job done, go for it. Just get the win.
I feel like that just would have hit it off a lot easier for Philadelphia sports fans. Like, flowers, these guys talking about flowers. That's my typical Philadelphia sports fan impression. Here you go. So we've covered Gannon, we've covered Sirianni, we talked a little bit about Jalen Hurts. How about this story that came out recently? Jalen Hurts apparently is in contact with Peyton Manning, and apparently Peyton Manning sends him film, sends him tape, and all that stuff, and they text often. He has him as a mentor, more or less. I was pleasantly, we knew about the Cam Newton thing. I didn't know about the Teddy Bridgewater thing that apparently they keep in touch as well. But I did not know he was keeping in touch with Peyton Manning, and the Manning family says he's got a good relationship with him. That's got to make you feel good as well.
It does. And, Jalen Hurts we don't really know who he is, off the field. And I respect that. He's such a quiet, cool guy. And he doesn't, obviously post anything, doesn't really interact, like get in fights like Fletcher Cox does on Twitter with fans. And I respect that. So, I had no idea. I did see the Peyton Manning little tidbit. Another fun fact that came out about Jalen Hurts was that he was the one who petitioned to do the jersey uniform combo that they did in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about a leader. And I was not a fan at first. That caused a big stink on Twitter. And once I saw them come out, I was like, oh, that actually works. So not only is he a good quarterback, he has a good sense of style.
They look like a bunch of waiters. They look like a bunch of waiters to me. They're just the black pants and a white shirt. And it was just like,
okay, when you put it that way, I guess.
I mean, that's how I thought. When I first saw it, I was just like, there's like, sure, it's slick, but like, either they're on their way to a wedding and forgot their jacket. Like, I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, like that was just what jumped to my idiot brain. And then the second thing that jumped to my idiot brain was, why can't Jalen Hurts just tell Jeffrey Lurie, hey, you know what? I like those Kelly Green jerseys. Those little silver wings. Where's that message?
That is a really good point. Do Kelly Green next, please, Jalen Hurts.
I will say this, and I almost said between you and me, but I'm using this on my show. I've seen Don Smolinski, Eagles president, and Howie Roseman in the same room answering questions in like a big corporate function where they're doing a live like Q&A, right? And I've seen them get asked about Michael Vick. I've seen them get asked about shady players in the past, and I don't mean Shady McCoy. I mean like shady behavior, TO instances, right? All that stuff. And they're like, answering questions, fine. And then somebody asked about Kelly Green, and they're like, whoa, I didn't know we were going to talk about serious stuff. Well, do you want to take this? Should I take this? They're like terrified, which just only leads me to believe what more people have told me over the years, which is that just Jeffrey Lurie hates Kelly Green. We're never getting it back.
Yeah. I mean, he hates the run game. He hates Kelly Green, but clearly he budged on the run game. So maybe he'll eventually budge on the Kelly Green. He's a man of changes this season.
You got to think of it. If Nick Sirianni's coming to you in your office and that man in that attitude and that like over the topness, like how do you say no to that? That's like it's like a kid asking you for an ice cream, even though they already had like 10. It's just like you can't say no to it because the way they ask is just so damn sweet and nice. And I imagine that's how Nick Sirianni would try to sell the run game to that Jeffrey Lurie character.
Oh, absolutely. You know how I used to. I kind of stopped doing this when I lost my faith there in Nick Sirianni for a bit. But the Ted Lasso comparison, if you've watched Ted Lasso, I picture him bringing like biscuits or something to Jeffrey Lurie, like, hey, boss. Hey, how's it going? So I was thinking maybe we could run the ball.
I now will forever have that in my mind of Jeffrey Lurie chomping on a biscuit, just thinking, where the hell does this Sirianni guy get these biscuits? It's so delicious. Devin, what else you got going on? The live post-game show, obviously, with me on the Jacob Media YouTube channel, as well as 6abc.com after every Eagles game. You, me, Derek Gunn, John McMullen joins us from the stadium as well. We got our own billboard, so that's cool. We do. What else you got going on? I saw you were just in Toronto with the National Lacrosse League. What's going on there?
I was. I still work for the National Lacrosse League. We haven't played literally since before the pandemic because most of our players are in Canada. So there was a whole issue of, crossing the border. So I was finally allowed back into Canada. So that was exciting. Hadn't been up there. Forgot how nice they all were. But our season starts, I think, December 4th is the Philadelphia Wings first game at the Wells Fargo Center. So everyone should come out. I'm going to be sideline reporting for them this season. And I also host the Believe in Eagles podcast bi-weekly. So tune into that and then follow me on social media at Devan_Kaney on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Wow, that was quick.
Devin, if you haven't found this out about me yet, I'm a professional. I'm a professional. That's how that works.
True pro.
Devan Kaney, great catching up with you. But real quick, last thing about going to Canada and stuff. I went there pre-pandemic, but it was the first time I was there in like 20 some years. Mm-hmm. And 20 years ago, they were awesome and super sweet, super nice at the border. Mm-hmm. The most recent time I went, which was about 4 years ago, maybe, they were like really mean. They were like, what are you doing here? Maybe it was because I was coming over from Detroit. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe I was going through the Windsor Tunnel. Yeah. It
was probably that. I will say it was funny going there. They are tough at the border, but I thought it was because of COVID. Like they just question you. You have to get a specific type of test within a certain type of or a certain time frame. And then coming back into the States, they're like, yeah, whatever. Just come in.
We know that we're not preventing anything going on south of Niagara Falls. So, Jess, you do you on the way out. Do you have a little place called Swiss Chalet? Are you aware of the Swiss Chalet?
No. Should I know that?
I've heard Canadians rave about it. It's like their Boston Market, except it's a lot better than Boston Market.
Yes. No, I have heard of it. That when you said it, I was like, wait, that sounds so familiar. And I don't know. I have heard of it. I've never been there.
The guy at the border, the little army dude, he was like a Canadian fella. He was like, "Hey, why are you Canada, eh?" He didn't say "hey," but we better. And I go, "Well, dude, I'm going to get lunch." And he goes, "Where are you going?" I go, "Swiss Chalet." And he like cracked a smile and goes, "Yeah, that place is pretty awesome." So what are you doing in Canada? I was like, literally lunch. I just told you. Anyway, so that's how that went. Devan Kaney, great catching up with you. 2 times I get to talk to you in 1 week. I'll talk to you on Sunday after the Eagles 1 o'clock kickoff against the Saints on the Jacob Media YouTube channel, as well as 6abc.com for live post-game show. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Devan Kaney. Devan, thank you so much.
Thank you.